From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Okay. Board to reconvene. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Scribner.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the Tuesday, September 12th, 2023, 2 p.m. meeting of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. We'll first hear a report from County Counsel Margot Raison on any actions taken in closed session.
Good afternoon. This morning you met on items 62 and 64, but there is no reportable action.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Raison. Okay, we'll begin by considering today's consent agenda. There's agendas located at the back for anyone wishing to follow along. All items listed with a CA above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion. If a member of the audience wishes to comment or ask questions regarding an item on the consent agenda, they may do so prior to a vote being taken. A member of the board may remove any item from the consent agenda and it will be considered in its listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the board concerning the item before action is taken. At this time, I'll read the consent agenda items. On page 2, item 3. On page 3, items 4, 5, and 6. And for item 4, I want to strike out everything that's in caps for the recommended action and insert the language to continue to Tuesday, September 26, 2023 at 2 p.m. On page 4, item 7. On page 7, item 23. On page 8, item 24 through 27. On page 9, item 28 through 35. On page 10, item 36 through 43. Page 11, item 44 through 50. Page 12, item 51 through 56. Page 13, item 57 through 64. Page 14, items 65 through 71. And on page 15, items 72 through 76. Is there any member of the public that would like to comment on any items on the consent agenda? Now is the time. Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Have a motion on consent?
Thank you. Just need a second. I'll second, go ahead. Cast your vote.
Oh, it didn't. Okay, let's try it again.
Okay. Thank you.
The motion is approved, all ayes.
Thank you. Okay, this brings us to item 1, public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on this agenda but under the jurisdiction of the board. Board members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the board at a later meeting. Also, the board may take action to direct staff to place a matter of business on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state and spell your name before making your presentation. Thank you. Any speakers? Now is the time. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to board member announcements or reports. Okay, seeing none. Brings us to item number 8. Under Public Works Department, This is a presentation on continued compliance with state legislation SB 1383 regarding organic waste collection services. And staff will be hearing also items 9 through 22 all together, and they'll all be covered under staff presentation. So at this time, I'll ask our Director of Public Works, Josh Champlin, to give staff's presentation.
Thank you, Chairman Flores, members of the board. We are here today to speak about the continued compliance with SB 1383 and the diversion of organics is the real goal here. I'm joined today by Lisa Streeter, the Assistant Director of Public Works, who's going to be helping me today man this presentation. So let's get started. SB 1383, so this is the state program signed into law that requires the separation of organics from the waste stream. Before you today is the setting of the hearings to allow the community to protest these or implement them at a later date, and so you're simply setting dates today. The county has chosen, under ordinance, we will implement a 3-container waste collection system in the census tracts with the population densities greater than 75 people per square mile. It's based on the 2020 census. Also part of this program is to ensure route reviews for contamination and public education on waste diversion programs, and also increased reporting by both the trash haulers and the county ourselves. Let's go back and talk about the initial proposed universal collection areas that were voted on in May. In May, the Public Works Department presented an implementation plan for SB 1383, and in this plan, there were three larger areas proposed. At the board's decision, it was asked to go revisit this process, this implementation, and as a result, we have removed all non-mandated census tracts, and we have restructured the groupings into more unique geographical areas. So the revised universal collection, so we've restructured these into 14 separate universal collection areas, rather than the 3 that we previously brought to you. On your screen now is the overall county map showing all 14 universal collection areas. So please note that the gray areas, those are incorporated cities that have their own, they form their own plan on how they're going to implement 1383 compliance. The yellow areas are the previously approved universal collection areas that were either pre-existing before May or resulted from the creation. And that one, your board approved the one residential universal collection of the metro area there, as you see it in the middle of the map. So as we move forward, we'll highlight each one of these areas for your board so that you can see exactly the area included, and then as well as the number of parcels in each one of those areas. So today's agenda, we will be discussing items 9 through 22. And at this meeting, the board is going to, or the staff's going to recommend setting a hearing date for December 5th, 2 p.m. in these chambers to hear the protest hearing for these 14 new universal collection areas. In this, there will be resolutions establishing all 14 of the universal collection areas and setting the collection service at 3 96-gallon carts or 240 cubic yards per residential unit, and an ordinance setting the rates to be included on the property tax rolls starting with fiscal year 24-25. The fee structure for this program. Within this fee, there are 2 separate fees. There is the solid waste collection fee, and this is a fee paid directly to the haulers to pick up trash for the residents. And then also within this is the solid waste admin fee, and this is a cost paid to the county to administer the contracts with the haulers. Both of these fees are on property tax bill. A refresher on Proposition 218. Proposition 218 is a law that requires prior approval to the imposition of assessments and certain user fees before the government can unilaterally impose them. The protest hearing, a successful protest is 50% of the parcels plus 1. And if this board decides to set these hearing dates, shortly after this meeting, we will send out 12,464 notices to residential property owners in all, that constitutes the entire 14 universal collection areas. And so these 12,464 parcels are the remaining parcels that we have to come into compliance to be in full compliance with SB 1383. Now I'd like to get into each of the 14 universal collection areas. So agenda item number 9, Arvin Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 4. The hauler is Lamont Sanitation. The proposed rate is $368.64 per year per residential unit with a total of 89 residential parcels. Here's the map showing the Arvin Universal Collection Area. Once again, City of Arvin Incorporated is gray. Yellow is the previously approved universal collection areas. And where today's focus is going to be on the pink areas. These are what you will be setting hearings for, or considering setting hearings for today. Agenda item number 10, Boron Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 2. The hauler is Waste Management. The proposed rate is $559.80 per year per residential unit and a total of 844 residential parcels. Here's a map showing the Boron Universal Collection Area. Agenda item number 11, Delano Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 4. Hauler is South Tulare Rich Grove Refuse. Proposed rate is $528.96 per year per residential unit with a total of 120 residential parcels. Here's the accompanying map for the Delano Universal Collection Area. Agenda item number 12, Frazier Park Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 2. The hauler is Mountainside Disposal. The proposed rate is $559.80 per year per residential unit, with a total of 1,681 residential parcels. Here's the map showing Frazier Park Universal Collection Area. I'd like to pause and just, you've heard a few numbers here. You've heard 3 different numbers. I just want to go back to those 3 different dollar amounts. These dollar amounts that we are proposing are the same dollar amounts from the previous proposal as we have with agreements through the haulers. And so we've brought back the same pricing schedule that these groups were priced under before. They were just under 3 large universal collection areas rather than the 14. Agenda item number 13, Kern Valley Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 1. The hauler is Thomas Refuge Service. Proposed rate, $559.80 per year per residential unit and a total of 1,681 residential parcels. This is the Kern Valley Universal Collection Area. Agenda item number 14, McFarland Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 4. The hauler is American Refuse. Proposed rate, $528.96 per year per residential unit with a total of 12 residential parcels. Agenda item number 15, Mojave Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 2. The hauler is Waste Management. The proposed rate is $559.80 per year per residential unit, the total of 955 residential parcels. Agenda item number 16, the Northwest Metro Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial Districts number 1 and 4. The hauler is American Refuse. Proposed rate, $528.96 per year per residential unit, a total of 29 residential parcels. Agenda item number 17, the Outer Metro Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial Districts 1, 3, and 4. The haulers are Howard's Garbage, Price Disposal, Varner Brothers, Superior Sanitation. The proposed rate is $368.64 per year per residential unit, and the total parcels equals 71. Agenda item number 18, the Outer Taft Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District number 2. The hauler's Westside Waste Management. The proposed rate is $528.96 per year per residential unit with a total of 67 residential parcels. Agenda item number 19 is the Ridgecrest Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District Number 1. The Haulers Waste Management. The proposed rate is $559.80 per year per residential unit, with a total of 2,134 residential parcels. Agenda item number 20 is the Rosamond Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District Number 2. Haulers Waste Management. The proposed rate is $559.80 per year per residential unit, with a total of 4,244 residential parcels. Agenda item number 21 is the Shafter-Wasco Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District Number 4. The Haulers American Refuse. Proposed rate is $528.96 per year per residential unit, the total of 86 residential parcels. And agenda item number 22, Tehachapi Universal Collection Area, Supervisorial District Number 2, the Haulers Waste Management. Proposed rate is $559.80 per year per residential unit, for a total of 450 residential parcels. And this concludes staff's presentation, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chaplin. Any questions from our board before I go to public comment? Okay, Supervisor Peters.
Thank you. Thank you. First, Josh and Lisa, I just wanted to say I appreciate all your guys' work on this. I know this is really a tough issue, and thank you for reevaluating the collection areas just so our smaller communities can have some more meaningful input. First question, I know we had a discussion regarding the mailers that are going to go out, and just the desire to clarify how those are supposed to be returned, so we don't have ineligible mailers or protests coming back in a bunch of different mediums. Are we going to move forward with putting some language like that on those if this is passed?
Supervisor Peters, through the chair. I'm glad you asked that. So as a result of our conversation, we did put, so this I'm holding up is the mailer. This is the mailer that over 12,000 people will get if approved today. We have placed on the back of this mailer an easy way for people to submit protests. And so the reason this is a good way to submit your protest is because the name of the property owner will be on this mailer. So all that the property owner needs to do to protest, we've written a statement on the back of each one of these that's printed. It says, for convenience, if you would like to protest, sign below and return in a stamped envelope in the address listed on the other side of this mailer. And the address is Kern County Board of Supervisors. And then it says, this is Tehachapi, so it says attention Tehachapi UCA, 1115 Truxton Avenue, Bakersfield, California, 93301. So all someone would need to do if they got this and they wanted to protest, sign their name, put this in an envelope, and send it to that address. So that should make it very clear to the person receiving this.
Yeah, that's great.
We will, however, accept anything sent to us that has the name of the property owner, the address, and signed to our office, to the Board of Supervisors will be acceptable. Petitions are acceptable as well, but it does take us time to verify those kinds of forms because inevitably people sign more than one petition. But we will, make every effort to accept all eligible protests.
Perfect. I appreciate that. That's great. Again, I know we've had multiple discussions about this, but just so we can kind of go back over how we got here, can either you or Lisa address a little bit about why we're not moving forward with self-hauling or why that wasn't brought forward as an option, and then also on why the decision was made to put this on the tax roll instead of other billing methods?
So we have, you repeat the first question. We have the tax roll question, Supervisor, and then
the self-hauling option.
Okay. To address the initial, so the self-haul option, initially, this program has been in the making from the state level for some time. And so initially the self-haul option was looked at, many options were looked at to satisfy SB 1383. It was staff's conclusion that the self-haul option is actually a more expensive option for some reasons. We are putting a lot of the reporting onto the haulers. The haulers will be doing that. Some of the more down to nuts and bolts is the recycling portion of this program. Recyclables, which at one time were very profitable, they have become less profitable, and so there's actually surcharges just to dispose of recyclables because they don't have that profit built into them anymore. And so staff, through a lot of reasons, determined that it was more expensive to hire our staff to man these landfills. So we would have to source separate the items at the landfills for a self-haul option versus that's the responsibility of the haulers. And so these costs were put in their purview. And as a result of analyzing all that, it was the analysis was conducted, and we have the data to back that up, that it was our understanding that it was a more expensive option to self-haul than it was to contract with the trash haulers. And the tax roll is just the mechanism by which our county has established that we will choose to, under ordinance, require this. So we're going down the road here So thank you, Lisa. So we are going down the road where it is an ordinance established to allow that. And we've identified through, Lisa's reminded me, that it is actually cheaper to go through the tax roll because you don't have all of the billing that would be encumbered on staff and time to do all of the billing for the services.
Okay, appreciate that. And then lastly, I know that this is a state mandate, and I think that this is something that the state is coming through like they normally do with a broad brush, this one size fits all solution. But so I don't want to criticize your department on that. You guys are making the best of a bad situation, and I know that this has been something that's been in the works for a long time. But I am still not comfortable with the offering of, or the one size fits all solution that we're putting in place for it, with the cart size, with the service levels, in comparison to maybe looking at something where we have smaller cart sizes, maybe less frequent pickups, something that would just bring the cost down a little bit. And I don't know what would be involved with exploring that a little bit more. I know we've had some conversations about this in the past, and it seems like from our conversations that we're behind the eight ball on that. But would either of you care to share any comments or thoughts on that, on what that process would look like?
Supervisor Peters, so currently we have agreements with the haulers for levels of service. So you're gonna set. That's always an option, I think, moving forward. I just think right now we're at a point where we're under a corrective action plan by the state of California's Cal Recycle, and that corrective action plan states that we have to be in compliance by December 31st of this year. So we're at the 11th hour, and we're trying to come into compliance, and we're certainly open to having those discussions with your board, this board, and with the haulers to find out if there's other options available, maybe for a different level of service, can size, and those sorts of things. But it's still a recommendation right now that we set these hearing dates so that we can, this department, it's our goal to get this county into compliance right now. But I think those are good conversations we can have moving forward, and hopefully we can find some solutions that could lower the cost for the constituents.
Understood. I appreciate it. I think that's all the questions I have for now, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Peters. I just have a quick one. I know it'll be covered in the notice, but in terms of the process, can you just briefly touch upon the dates, the important milestones of submitting that, and anything else that would maximize public participation?
Chairman Flores, today is November 12th, right? September 12th. I'm sorry, September 12th today. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. And this board will hear, if you vote to set these hearings, December 5th. So we have quite a large window here. Anytime between now and December 5th, the county is prepared to accept protest hearings against this fee. I would suggest that if you're going to get near that wire, near the end there, you can also bring them in to that date at 2 o'clock and present them here at the board, and we will count those votes here as well. Lisa and I, we will be going out and doing public presentations to all 14 universal collection areas in the coming month, I would say, month or two. So we're going to get out there. We're going to be telling everybody, what their rights are and what they're getting from this program. But the date is December 5th is the critical date, because that's the date that the board would hear these items.
Thank you. And so I'm glad to see the public outreach effort. So I'm sure you'll cover what constitutes a legitimate protest and the parcel owner, and that what do you call, signature gathering necessarily doesn't count. It has to be received by our office with that letter, not petitions, correct?
Chairman Flores, no, we will accept petitions.
Oh, you do accept petitions.
But we
okay.
have to, it takes time to verify them, because oftentimes people sign multiple petitions, and this is one vote per parcel. So, spouses can't vote twice. It's just, one parcel gets one vote. And so it does take time, especially if we get a bunch of petitions in on the day of the hearing. It takes some time, and I think as you saw in May, we had to take a slight recess to go and continue to count those votes as they came in on the day of the vote. So, for the sake of getting it, going, sooner the better. If residents see this come through, we've made it very clear in the mailer what they need to do if they protest this.
Well, thank you for that clarification on what counts and what will not. So appreciate that. And at this time, I'll go to public comment on setting the hearings for items 8 through 22.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Michael Turnipseed, I represent the Kern County Taxpayers Association. When I originally thought you're going to have a 218 card, they used to be very tiny little cards, and now I see you're doing a trifold that you can tear off and send something back in. That was explained to me. There's going to be a portion that tears off and goes away. I understand, too, in the past, the number one reason for rejection was the people who were protesting did not put their APN numbers on their letters. And that's how you identify the letter with the parcel. So how many people know the APN number on their houses? Nobody. They want to sign a petition in front of Walmart. I don't know. You have to have a system that is workable. And if addresses don't work, because you could have multiple addresses on the same parcel, you need to print something like a property tax bill, if you're going to tear it off, with their name on it and the APN with a line to sign. And you really want to protect the taxpayers here, let alone language issues. And they're going to get this in the mail and go, oh, junk mail. It gets buried in all the other junk mail. There's nothing distinguished about it. Maybe you might want to spend the money and put it in an actual envelope and say official business, because we all know how you go through the mail and stuff gets lost. And I think everybody has to understand the importance of this vote. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Great suggestions. Thank you, Mr. Turnipseed. Supervisor Peters.
Thank you. I appreciate those suggestions, Mr. Turnipseed, and I just wanted to clarify, there won't be a portion that rips off necessarily from my understanding. It's just we would ask that the entire trifold be sent back, which will have the APN listed on it. Is that correct?
Supervisor Peters, that is correct.
Okay.
And can I respond to Mr. Turnipseed really quickly? So we don't require APNs. So all we require is, if anyone wants to protest this, all we need is any piece of paper that says their address, their printed name, and their signature. That's all we're requiring.
I just heard from other people that many protests in the past were rejected because they did not have APN numbers on their letters. If that's not the case, that's my mistake. Just got that information. So they do not have to have their APN down.
That is correct.
So what if, through change of ownership or different, John Smith signs it, he's the son of William Smith, but William Smith is the guy who's on the property. Who owns the property? Say it's your father or something. He's dead, but the property's still in the estate or something. How are you going to handle that?
I would say that's a small percentage of maybe what we would get. However, if they have a concern, they can always contact us. And we're not doing signature verifications here. We're gonna trust the people that what they're doing is correct, okay? So, I mean, that's my understanding of that.
Okay. We will see how it turns out, and we'll be back all here, what, December 5th, right? 7th,
December 5th. December 5th, yes.
The 5th?
5th.
The 7th, it'd be Pearl Harbor Day, so that would be over. Happy birthday. Thank you very much for your
And I don't know if county council wants to weigh in on that or not. I'll give you the opportunity.
Chairman Flores, if there were a challenge to whether somebody signed it correctly and that became a legal challenge, we would work with the assessor's office and treasurer tax collector to be able to verify that. But as Mr. Champlin said, we are leaving it up to individuals to do the right thing and submit a vote or a protest per parcel. And if it's brought to our attention through Mr. Champlin and his staff or otherwise, and there's some question, then we would review it on a case-by-case basis to try to figure out who the correct signature or property owner would be. But it could be figured out.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that extra level of assurance. Next speaker, please. If any. Okay, seeing none, I will bring it back to the board for discussion and action. And this will be items 9 through 22 will establish the hearings. There's no action on number 8. Yep, Supervisor Couch, sorry.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for the work that you've done. I know this was not easy for you, and you still have a lot of work ahead of you. Regarding the public outreach you're going to do, how are you going to notify people of when those meetings are going to be, where they're going to be, that sort of thing? And will you please include us in each of those notifications?
Supervisor Couch through the chair. Each flyer for each universal collection area has that information on the flyer. So the time and the meeting place is in this flyer, and it's unique to each universal collection area.
Can I suggest that maybe we put that on our website as well when those meetings are going to be
Yes,
had?
we can do that. So we'll put that on the Public Works,
Yep.
the front page there, because it's a big deal right now.
And you said it's only, is there information on that flyer that's, you said there's only one vote per parcel.
Correct.
So mom and dad are going to have to race to the mailbox to cast the vote if they disagree on this, I guess. Does it say on there that I assume only one signature is needed?
Correct. So only one signature is needed from any of the legal property
Even if it's
owners.
held in joint tenancy or however?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Scrivener.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't notice on your presentation, I don't know if I missed it, you said it verbally, what date can we expect these flyers to start hitting mailboxes in the, 14 collection areas?
Supervisor Scrivener through the chair. I did not mention it, but Ms. Schrader has let me know that we are sending them out on September 26th.
Okay. And Supervisor Couch mentioned on our website, and I know certainly some people do go to websites to get information, but I think more and more often now people are getting their information on social media. Public Works, just like a lot of the county departments, have a good social media outreach apparatus. So are we going to be putting that out on our social media as well?
Yes, Supervisor Scrivener, we will be putting that out on Facebook.
And when will that start?
We can start adding those today once this is determined.
Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Peters.
Thank you, Chairman. One other question I wanted to ask, and I know I'd received this from a couple constituents, especially in the Kern River Valley and areas like that where there's a lot of, Airbnbs or vacation homes that maybe only be used a few times a year. How will this impact those houses?
Supervisor Peters, through the chair, there are exemptions through the state law, and if they are used for less than 3 months a year, then they can contact our office and apply for an exemption.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go to CEO and then go to you.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Zervis.
Thank you, Chairman Flores and Supervisor Scribner and Couch through the chair. My office will be available to help Mr. Champlin in Public Works to notify these meetings through social media and traditional media. We've developed a pretty good apparatus to do that, to connect with the public and make sure that we use every opportunity to make sure these communities are in their local jurisdictions are aware of these meetings. So my commitment, we'll be supporting them in that effort with our communications team.
Thank you. Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. I'm not sure if I missed this from before, but what a great question about the exemption regarding less than 3 months. That process is somebody would contact your office, they submit something online, you then give an answer up or down. Is that pretty black and white? How does that work?
Supervisor Perez, through the chair, let me correct something Ms. Streeter corrected me on. It would be a refund. So there's the exemption, it would come in the form of on their tax bill, and they would see it and they would say, hey, I don't want this. So they would contact our office and they would submit their proof, and we would, examine the proof that they've set forward that it's inhabited for less than 3 months or less per year. And then we would subsequently issue refunds in that manner.
Thank you for that, for clarifying that. Are there other matters by which people can receive refunds for, given exempt-like carve-outs? I know the concentration and density was one of these possibilities, but do we have other opportunities like this for people that really are in dire need, true dire need, of which I think a lot of people there are?
Supervisor Perez, so unfortunately, the state law, that's not if we go back and look at all of the comments that were made up and down the county by counties and cities, there was a common response to this very question, and they said that that's not a valid reason. Cost is not a reason for the state to forgive people of this program or to not charge them. That was always dismissed through, I think, 4 comment periods from the state. And so
Which is pretty stunning to think about.
And their main focus is they were told they had to reduce their organic waste stream in the landfills by a certain percentage. They did their own math, and they determined that this 75 people per square mile was the required level in order to get to the state's goals that they set for themselves. And so cost did not even factor into any of these decisions.
Okay, so what kind of requirements are you going to put on the public to get this refund for people that stay less than 3 months? What is that process going to look like?
We are going to use utility bills. So we can base it off your utilities. So you can provide, 12 months of utility bills, and I think that'll be very clear whether you were living in the property or not.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate your hard work.
Thank you, Supervisor Perez. Okay, I think we might have exhausted discussion, so defer back to the board for action.
So, Mr. Chairman, it says number 8 is just your presentation, so you need a motion
for 9
on
through
staff's recommendation. Can we vote on each of these items all together?
Together, yes,
Okay.
9 through 22.
So I'll
yes.
make a motion to approve staff's recommendation on 9 through
22, yeah.
22.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Scribner. Okay, I have a motion for 9 through 22.
Need a second?
You need a second. Okay.
Peters, did you want to second that?
And a second from Supervisor Perez. Okay, members, please cast your vote.
The motion is approved, 4 ayes, 1 opposed. Supervisor Peters.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, staff, for the presentation, and we'll come back in December. That brings us to adjournment. Having no additional items to consider, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to Tuesday, September 26, 9 a.m.
So moved.
Thank you. Okay, we're adjourned.
E29